Hey everyone, it's Matt, and today I'm going to be playing a game called Desktop Survivors 98. And as you can tell, or maybe you can't, this game looks like an old Windows desktop. This is in fact not an old Windows desktop you're looking at right now, but the interface for Desktop Survivors 98, which is a sort of bullet heaven game, as they're sometimes called, or a Vampire Survivors-like, where the character you play is your mouse cursor, and you have to survive by not getting hit by the many enemies, while upgrading your cursor's weapons and abilities to become increasingly more powerful. So, the way this game works is you can have it mirror your actual desktop, or you can use some of the built-in wallpapers like this one with the clouds, very Windows 98-ish. And so before we start, let's look at the wallpapers we can choose from here. We got the dynamic dungeon, which will change depending on the section of the game you're in. We got those clouds, we got a field, the ocean, space, the classic teal color from back in the day, and various other solid colors. For now, I think I'm going to keep it on teal because it makes it very easy to see what you're looking at when there's a bunch of stuff going on the screen. So, let's take a look at what we got here. We got some icons on the desktop to start a new game, look at achievements, and so on. We'll look at some of this later. But for now, let's hit the begin button, not the start button, and start a new run. So, you get to select a cursor, and each cursor has different advantages and a different starting weapon. For example, the classic cursor will shoot the cursor arrow weapon, which you'll see later. And it has all these stats, which you can look at if you want to pause, but they're not especially important right now. So we have a bunch of options here, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to choose classic. And you get to choose a zone. Each zone is harder than the last, and as you complete certain challenges, you unlock more zones. These are the 4 I've unlocked so far after a few hours of playing, but we'll start with the easy one for this video, and maybe try some of the harder ones later. We'll do a few runs. So, generating dungeon, and so the way this works is your desktop here is the floor of the dungeon, and there are doors at the edge of each screen that take you to adjoining rooms, and the adjoining rooms can be seen on this map, which looks a bit like Minesweeper, and the flag shows where you are, and the icon on the room shows what will be in the next room. So to the left, we have an enemy-filled room because of the skull, but there are other types of rooms you might see. So let's get rid of the map and look at the first enemy-filled room. Things are about to get a little chaotic, as you'll see. So I'm going to have to move around pretty quickly here. And you see my cursor is shooting other cursors at the enemies automatically. And the enemies are dropping stuff I can pick up. In this case, the diamonds, the blue diamonds, are experience points, and the coins are money. I can use the money to buy items and upgrades later, and the experience points, well, they level me up, and every time you level up, you get a choice of 3 items, and these can upgrade your abilities and give you more weapons. So one of the options here is an upgrade for the cursor arrow to level 2. It will fire an additional cursor and increase the speed of the arrows by 22%. I can also get the modem upgrade, which will increase my overall luck by 10%. I'm not sure what that affects, but I think it's things like the chance of critical hits or rare items appearing. And then Regedit, will give me 10% more XP going forward. So I think that will be pretty useful, given that the more XP I get, the more I get to level up. So let's acquire that. And try not to get hit. Alright, so now I've got Dr. Watson, which will give me a HP recovery of an additional 0.2 HP per second. My starting recovery is 0.1 HP per second due to an upgrade I got, a permanent upgrade. But this will make it faster, so I can get hit more often. The hourglass will reduce the weapon cooldowns by 8%, meaning they will fire 8% faster. And we already saw Regedit, which we can upgrade to level 2 for another 10%. I'm going to get Dr. Watson. It helps to survive when it gets pretty spicy. And because I'm trying to make a relaxing ASMR video here, well, I might not be able to focus quite as hard on not getting hit. Alright, so as you can see, after about 30 seconds, the level, or the battle ends, and you've survived the room. And you see these items here, these mushrooms and so on, the scenery. You can double click them, and they will sometimes give you money. So you want to make sure you're looking for the money before you leave the room. So next up is another enemy room down here. Let's see if we can survive. Most likely, given that this is early in a run, it's not too hard. It does get much harder later on to survive. I'm not the biggest fan of the cursor arrow weapon. It's not especially powerful compared to some of the others. But that's alright. We'll just start this run with it for now. Alright, we can upgrade Dr. Watson and the cursor arrow, or we can get a fishing pole, which will make a line come off of my mouse cursor, and I can swing it around to hurt enemies. It's kind of fun, but I'm not a huge fan of it, so let's upgrade the cursor arrow for additional speed. It'll make it easier to hit the fast-moving enemies. Alright, let's get the potential money. There's a little there. And now we have here a shop. What could the shop have? Here's the cat that sells items. It looks like the old helper agents that they had on old versions of Windows like XP. So this is a mystery item. For 75 coins, I can get a random item. So let's see what it is. Alright, this is a 0xA0B30, which is, well, there's a variety of items with names like this that have random effects like this. So this will increase my weapon projectile speed by 50% and cause enemies to take 6% more damage for 2 seconds when they're hit by that weapon. So I'm going to use this to upgrade my weapon. In this case, the only one I have right now, the cursor arrow, and it will have those effects. You can pet the cat. And now, let's see our upgraded cursor arrows. Yeah, they're definitely faster now. That's nice. But I do want to get another weapon soon. Just having the cursor arrows is a little weak. Though not the worst. It's not my least favorite weapon. I was a little greedy there, trying to get those items. Alright, I can get the paint bucket, which will spawn splashes of paint and damage enemies that touch them, or the CD launcher, which will launch CDs that'll bounce around. Or I can upgrade the cursor arrow. I'm gonna go for the CD launcher. That's a kind of fun looking one. So here comes the CDs. There we go. I do have an upgrade, a permanent upgrade that I've unlocked that gives me twice, well, an additional projectile for each weapon. So normally it's only one CD that launches, but I start with 2 now, which is nice. So So let's go back through here and fight another enemy. Enemy room, that is. Gotta be real careful. It's getting a little busy in here. Thankfully, I have Dr. Watson healing me a bit for when I get hit. I just don't want to get hit too often, because that will be a little bad. Alright, we have upgrades to Cursor Arrow and Regedit, or I can get a Modem. I'm going to upgrade Regedit for more XP. Always nice to have more XP. I'd say that's one of the more challenging things in this game. Leveling up fast enough to outweigh the enemies getting more powerful. Though this is one of those games where you're supposed to buy permanent unlocks between runs, and I don't have a lot of those yet, so I don't have their benefits really applying. So we can get the recycle bin, which fires recycled files in a shotgun-style fashion, or the power supply, which will increase weapon damage by 10%. I'm going to go for the recycle bin. It's nice to have a sort of shotgun effect. Let's get some of the money here. And move on to the next enemy room. These guys are pretty fast. But they're not really coming for me, they're just really bouncing around. So, not especially difficult. There are some incredibly fast enemies that will chase you all over the place later on. You'll probably see those at some point. I got a little too comfy with the upper wall there, but that's alright. I'm still alive, and I will be for a while, hopefully. Ready? Oops. Okay, so we have Minesweeper, which will spawn a mine near the center of the map and explode whenever an enemy touches it, or chest pieces, which fall from above and move around on the screen according to their rules. We also have Word Art, which fires letters horizontally. I'm going to go for Word Art, which fires exactly what it sounds like. Word Art. Alright, so we have finished this floor technically. We can go downstairs to the next depth. And before we do, we'll open the chest for our reward. Lots of money and an upgrade to the Cursor Arrow. But you might notice here, there is a boss room. The boss is technically optional, but there are benefits to beating it, especially the first time. So, I've already beaten the boss in this area before, so it's unnecessary, but just to show you, let's try the boss. The boss is this scarecrow, which flies over the place, throwing crows at you and various other attacks. He's not especially hard, but it can be tricky to hit him because he moves so fast, especially if you don't have the right weapons for it. Early on, this was a little harder when I didn't have permanent upgrades. I have died to this boss a couple times, though. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Probably not at this rate, because he's almost dead. The cursors are doing a pretty good job hitting him. Lots and lots of crows. Alright, I got him. And lots of money. As well as something hidden behind there. What is that? It is an upgrade, which increases weapon area by 38%, and upon a critical hit, gains 16% extra damage for 3 seconds. So, let's give that to the recycle bin, and I'll make the files it launches bigger, which is nice. Alright, let's go down to the next level. Depth 2. So, depth 2 has an enemy room right here, and let's try and survive. Shouldn't be too tricky. These guys guys look menacing, but they're not that hard to avoid. Though it's a little tricky to tell your own attacks apart from enemies sometimes. Sometimes I'll see the CDs flying around and try and avoid them. We've got upgrades for Word Art and Dr. Watson, as well as a calculator upgrade, which will increase the value of gold I pick up by 10%. I'm going to go for an upgrade to Word Art, wiggle height up by 25%, and base speed up by 15%. It makes them move around a bit more, easier to hit enemies with. I picked up a cookie there for healing, but I didn't really need it. There's another cookie. Those cookies are somewhat rare in my experience. Weird to see them twice in a row like that. Alright, so the modem, or the scheduler, which will decrease the clock speed by 10%, which gives me more time in each battle to get more experience and money. But I'm going to upgrade the CD launcher. It can bounce again, and it will be faster. I like how one of the enemies are just frogs. That's it. They're not some fantasy creature. They're not menacing. They're just little froggies. Alright. We got the hourglass, which reduces weapon cooldown by 8%. And the paint bucket. I'm going to go for the hourglass. That'll make our weapons fire faster. Up here we've got a game of chance. So this guy here, he gives you random offers. If you get a card higher than his, a 72% chance with his 5. If you win, you decrease your cooldown stat by 20%. But if you lose, you decrease your recovery stat by 1%, or 1 HP per second, that is. I don't think you can go negative, but maybe you can. Let's find out. Well, we're not going to find out because I won. So, 20% faster weapon firing, which is nice. Oh, you clicked me? Bold move. Let's make it interesting. I give or I take. No do-overs. Flip the coin, take some damage, or a heal. Luck always remembers. I'm not sure what that was about. That might have been dialogue for a one-time thing that I already activated, but I don't remember. Alright, moving on. These butterflies can be pretty fast, or moths, or whatever they are. That can be a little tricky, especially in big numbers. Just gotta focus on not getting hit. Easier said than done. But it takes a little practice to recognize the patterns of where they're moving around and where they're going to end up. No way to be perfect about it, though. Oh. I'm getting hit a few times. Alright, so we've got the binary bomb, which fires a missile of 1s and 0s towards the center of the screen. This is one of my favorite weapons, as well as Cat JPEG, which will summon cat paws to swipe at enemies from below and chess. I'm not a huge fan of Cat JPEG, but just for the sake of this video being more fun, I'll get it because it's fun to watch. Here come the cats. I feel like it's hard to actually hit enemies with them. But maybe I'm not understanding how it works. They generally attack wherever you are, so you're going to have to be right on top of the enemies. Let's see, what is in this shop? Another random item. Another weapon upgrade increases weapon projectile speed by 18% and causes enemies to take 18% more damage for 2 seconds. Let's give that to Word Art. And move on up here. Alright, these guys are fast. careful. Do your job, cats. Alright. We can reduce damage received by 10% with gears, or upgrade Mordart or Dr. Watson. I will upgrade Mordart. I'm not especially concerned about surviving super long in this first run here, because I kind of want to show you some other stuff. And I can't do all that if I'm alive, you know? Well, if I'm continuing to survive, that is. So I'm not playing quite as accurately as I might on a more serious run. How about we go for Regiment? Another upgrade to my experience gain stat. It is very fun to weave in and out of the groups of enemies, trying not to get hit. It's not like a game like Vampire Survivors where you just move at a set pace. You move as fast as your mouse cursor does. So how about we increase weapon damage by 10% with the power supply? Should be nice to have. Alright. Let's move on to this enemy room I haven't done yet. Oh, this one's already a little spicy. It's getting a little tricky to dodge all these guys. Oh boy, I'm getting hit. Alright. So I can get my computer, which increases max HP. But I'm gonna increase my weapon damage by 10%. Oh boy. Staying alive. On the harder levels, the enemies start doing more damage too, which can be pretty hazardous. You only have to get hit a few times to die sometimes. Alright. How about we go for search? Cursor pickup range increases by 30%. So I don't have to get quite as close to the items to pick them up. It's nice to have, but not especially necessary, given that after each battle, all the items come right to you like that anyway. But if you're trying to get them during the battle, it's nice to have. Alright, so we haven't done at least one of these rooms. And I just realized I might be forgetting to hit or click the scenery after the battles. I feel like I haven't been doing that. Or maybe I've been destroying them during the battles, so they're not around. I'm not paying attention well enough. Either way, how about we upgrade Cat JPEG for a shorter cooldown on the cat paws? You get to see more cats. Why not? Got a bunch of them right there. We will upgrade our weapon damage by 10%. I haven't really done the math on the most optimal way of doing things. I kind of just go based on vibes, but I'm sure there is a very optimal way to play this game that I am not following. But sometimes it's not so much fun to just keep doing math and specific calculations for this kind of thing. Let's upgrade the cursor arrow for an additional cursor and base cooldown down by half a second roughly. Okie doke. Got him. Alright. And one more enemy room here. This is probably the last one for this floor. Oh boy. Sometimes my greed overtakes my patience, and I go for items I know I should not be going for yet because it's too dangerous. let's upgrade the recycle bin. Base damage up by 5, base speed up by 25%. Alright. You know, I'm kind of realizing this game is very fast-paced and frantic. Maybe not the best idea for an ASMR video, but it's a little late for that now. I'm already recording the ASMR video. Let's reduce weapon cooldown. I'm getting hit more now, but that's alright. I'm in it to have fun, not necessarily to win. And I am having fun. Alright, let's reduce cooldowns even more. And that's it for this floor. Let's get this money and the recycle bin upgrade. And down to depth 3. Alright, so these enemies are gonna start being more hazardous. They'll do more damage and likely be faster and more numerous as time goes on. We will get a cursor arrow upgrade to pass through an additional enemy. Oh boy, the magnet draws everything towards me, and the blue screen, if you get that item, it kills everything on the screen, which is nice. So let's reduce our cooldowns even more. Always nice to have weapons firing faster and faster. And how about we make our cursor pickup range a bit wider so I can get more experience faster with less effort. Getting pretty hectic here. How about we increase the base damage of Cat JPEG? Oh boy. It's getting a little tricky to tell these CDs apart from the other fast-moving enemies. Anyway, let's go to the next fight. So these guys aren't too fast, but they do break up into smaller versions of themselves, which can be a little hazardous, seeing as they kind of blend in with the green diamonds. Let's upgrade word art for longer words coming out when the attack goes out. Yeah, so instead of 3 letters, they're more like 5 letters long, it looks like. 4 or 5. How about we fire an additional file from the recycle bin and increase our cooldown? This run is going better than I expected, honestly. But I am playing the easiest area, zone, or whatever you want to call it. We will make the CD launcher do more damage. Always nice to have more damage. So much stuff on the screen here. We will increase our cursor pickup range by 30%. So much money and experience. We will reduce the weapon cooldowns by 8% this time. Oh yeah, look at all this. Got a kill screen. Very nice. And we'll add an additional paw for more chaos. Look at all these cats. Wow, so many cats. So many cats. Isn't it nice to see all these cats? We will get the recycle bin upgrade for base damage up by 5 and base speed up by 25%. Oh yeah. Alright, on to another battle. not especially high right now, so I gotta be careful. Okay, I will make the recycle bin pass through another enemy. It's getting a little tricky to keep track of my mouse cursor here. Yeah, these guys are doing a lot of damage. Might not survive too much longer here. But let's see, maybe I will. Or maybe I won't. Game over. Error, you have run out of HP. Press OK to receive the results. Here's the results of that run, all the stats on everything I did. And so, before we do another run, let's look at some stuff here. You can look at your achievements and your discoveries, things like the items and weapons you've unlocked. And the library has some info I won't spoil here. We also have the shop, and at the shop you can purchase permanent upgrades. So I can get stuff like additional projectile, and I already bought that one, but we also got area, which increases the weapon area by 10% per upgrade, armor for less damage, cooldown reduction, critical hit chance, XP value, luck, etc. So I have 45 money. I'm gonna go for, let's see, I'm gonna reduce the cooldown by 10% of my weapons. And I will also increase the pickup distance. Should be nice to have. And so with my remaining 445 monies, coins, whatever you want to call them, I will play some blackjack. This is another way you can try and make more money by just playing some simple blackjack. And I'm not great at this, but it is kind of a game of chance to some degree. And it's a little bit rigged, but that's how blackjack is in my opinion. But anyway, I will bet 100. So the goal of blackjack, if you're not familiar, is to try and draw cards as close to 21 total without going over, and whoever has the highest without going over wins. Dealer is at 10 right now with a mystery card in addition to that, and I'm at 18. Chances are if I hit, I'll probably get a card that's going to put me over 21, so I will stand, and it's a tie. We'll try one more. And 14, let's hope I get 7 or less. Alright, 20, not too bad. Another tie. Let's try one more time. I'm not going to risk it with 18. He beat me. I lost 100. I'll try one more. And we'll stand at 20. And a 100. But enough of that. Let's go into the settings and change the wallpaper. I will show you the dynamic dungeon mode. So this is the background for the first zone, and it'll change depending on which zone I do. So let's try another one. So these blacked out ones you can buy if you have enough money, but I'm gonna go for one that is my favorite so far. 0. This one starts with the binary bomb, which shoots ones and zeros towards the center of the screen. And that can be pretty powerful, but this one also gives you an additional 10% level scaling, so more power every time you level up to binary bomb. It also gains 2% power every 5 levels up to level 60. So let's do that, and the zone we'll do this time is the hollow. You can also see the background change here, so for dunes, for example, looks like that, and the prison. So let's go for hollow, crumbling tunnels within your motherboard's pathways. Each zone is a little harder than the last and has its own boss. And fun fact, I've actually only beaten the first zone's boss, so I haven't gotten around to beating the other bosses yet. Maybe I'll beat this zone's boss today. So as you see, every so often it shoots ones and zeros towards the center of the screen based on wherever I am when it activates. So you want the enemies to be in between the center of the screen and wherever you are when it activates. And it does help to get cooldown reduction for that one because it can take a while to fire off, but it does a ton of damage, as you'll see. Anyway, let's go for an upgrade to binary bomb, base damage up by 6. There we go. See all the damage it does there? Can kill a lot of them at once. So I'm going to go for the power supply here, not just because I want weapon damage to increase by 10%, but because you see this icon for the binary bomb there. That means it has synergy that I have discovered with it. Much like in games like Vampire Survivors, there are secret combinations of items where when you upgrade them both enough, they create a new super powerful item or weapon. And this is one of the combos, so if I upgrade these two enough, I'll get an extra powerful one. So let's go for that. Alrighty. We'll upgrade the power supply because that synergy is our priority right now. Alright. So, let's click on these guys here. Get some money. And you notice this guy right here. He's like Clippy, but a sword. If you click on him, you can minimize the game really quickly. If you want to hide it, make it look like you're doing work at work, but we're not at work right now. We're in an ASMR video. We got a random upgrade for 100 coins. Very nice. Binary bomb level 3. Now on to the next battle. Let's line them up between the center and me. See all that damage? Very good at killing lots of enemies at once. Unfortunately, if you don't line them up, it doesn't really do much, but usually not too difficult to get at least some of them. We will increase damage by 10% because we want to keep upgrading power supply and binary bomb when we can. Gotcha. Alright. Very nice. And now, how about we go for chess? I'm not a huge fan of lasso, which you have to kind of draw a loop around enemies. It's especially tricky to do, especially at the lower levels when you're trying to deal with big groups of enemies. And it doesn't do as much damage as I'd like, but maybe I'll show it to you later. For now, let's go for the falling chess pieces, which will move around based on what piece they are. You'll see those in the next battle, which will be now. There they go, falling and going off the screen gradually. Looks like they just kind of move once or twice and then disappear. They don't look especially powerful, but they do a good deal of damage wherever they land, so they can be pretty powerful if you got enough of them going. So let's go for recycle bin. Or actually no, we already saw that, so let's go for the paint bucket, which will spawn damaging splashes of paint. I'm not a huge fan of this weapon. It doesn't seem especially powerful, but I haven't really upgraded it too much yet, so maybe it's more powerful with a lot of upgrades. For now, it's a little underwhelming. Let's reduce weapon cooldowns by 8% with Hourglass, and move on to the next battle. Thankfully, these slow guys are easy to line up between you and the middle of the screen for the binary bomb. A little harder with the fast ones. hoping I find a Dr. Watson soon, because I'm not very good at surviving long in some of the more difficult battles without a health recovery upgrade. Let's go for a Reginate. 10% more XP. Oh boy, I'm getting hit. Like I said, this zone is a little harder. Alright. So there's a boss room down there, but I'm not going to go there yet. I want to get some more upgrades from this battle. Make myself a little more powerful. Not sure I have the sort of power right now with my weapons to effectively defeat the boss, but we'll see. If I have to, I'll do another video or another run before this video ends, if this one's too short. Let's upgrade the power supply. Ow. Oh boy. I just want the stuff. Just give me the stuff. There's the stuff. Very nice. Not so nice when I get hit. Alright. Let's get all this and that. And why not give the boss a try? It might kill me, but we'll find out. The boss here is this miner mole. Back for more, huh? Guess you ain't scared of a little dirt in your eye. Hard head's on, round two's about to rumble. So he just pops out of the ground randomly and throws very fast pickaxes that are kind of tricky to avoid. And there are also minecarts going all over the place. And things falling from the ceiling, as you will see. And especially with something like Binary Bomb, it can be hard to line up attacks because of how much he moves around. So it's not the best weapon for fighting this boss. I am not confident that I will survive this one. But we'll try. Why not? This boss seems like he'd be much easier with a fast-moving homing item like the cursor. Though he does stay in place a little bit when he does the earthquake. So, it's a good time to try and line yourself up with him. I say that, but I haven't been doing it. Probably gonna die here. But I'm trying. Yep, there we go. That's alright though. Can I get any upgrades before the next one? Nope, they're all grayed out. Not enough money. Maybe if I play a quick round of blackjack. Nope. Also nope. I'm just losing money. Look at all this money I'm losing. This is why you don't gamble, kids. Imagine if this money was real. This would suck. A lot. Even when I thought I might win, I still lost. You know what? All in. Why not? See, this is why you don't gamble. I'm now broke. If this was real life, I would be bankrupt. Anyway, for the last run of this video, let's make the wallpaper something a bit easier on the eyes. Try to do black or space. I'm going to go for space because that's more interesting. Probably makes it a little harder to tell what's going on though, but that's alright. Anyway, let's do a new run. And this time, let's go with 0 again because that's still my favorite. This time we'll try the dunes. Sands shift beneath the heat of your CPU. Alright. The very spacey dunes, but that's alright. These guys are very slow moving. Makes makes it pretty easy to dodge them for now. Let's go for a scheduler to decrease the clock speed by 10%. Give us more time to get more experience in each battle and money. Though if I just want a breather, I'm not going to get it as that continues to increase in time. Let's upgrade binary bomb to level 2. Alright. See if I can get these guys in time. I really want to reduce this cooldown when I can. But for now, let's get Minesweeper, because you haven't seen that yet. It'll spawn mines near the center, and they'll blow up when an enemy touches them. They can get pretty powerful, but you really gotta keep luring enemies to the center. So there's a couple down here. There we go. They're kinda loud. Hopefully not too loud for this video. I'll keep the volume down if I can. Well, I say if I can, as if I can't change the volume of the game in editing, but you know what I mean. Come on. Alright, we will increase the base area of Minesweeper by 25%. Alright, let's get this money. And we'll look in here for another battle. It can be fun trying to line up the enemies for binary bomb. Especially when you get them in the right spot. Very satisfying. Alright. We'll go for a Minesweeper upgrade. Base damage up by 10. Alright. The experience points do blend in a little with the space background. That's alright though. Okay. Alright. We will further upgrade our binary bomb. I got a notification. Destroy 20 cacti in dunes. That's really a achievement. Now available. Twist. With a bonus every 5 seconds, projectile speed is double for 1 second. So I think this is just something I can, one of the cursors I can buy for a run. It's not going to have an effect right now. So moving on here. Another battle is in here. Not in here, sorry. The next room. Okie doke. Let's get it. Let's get that money and experience. Alright. More money, more experience now. Yes, please run into the mines. That would be very useful. I love it when you run into the mines. Everyone does. So how about we try the crumbler? It is a cookie in the center of the screen that damages a random enemy every time you click it, but it also has its own mouse pointer, clicking it every so often, and you can get more of them, just like a certain game called Cookie Clicker. If you've ever played Cookie Clicker, you'll know exactly what's going on here. It's a fun weapon to upgrade, but not my favorite. But I did want to show it in this video, because why not? Don't take damage for 3 rooms in a row. Apparently I haven't done that yet. So that got me failsafe, which has an additional shield, and each has 15 seconds of recharge. But nice to get a notification, or sorry, an achievement for a second time in this video. was not expecting to get notifications. I keep calling them notifications because of the pop-up, but achievements in this video. So, this will increase my weapon area by 26%, but it has a 23% chance to not fire. I'm gonna pass on that. No thank you. I want my weapon to fire always. I'd rather have that than a bigger area when it does fire. Some of these guys are pretty fast right now. Oh boy. I will add an auto clicker to the crumbler. These guys are moving a little too fast for me to get the stuff in the center reliably. That's alright. I'll have it eventually. Right. I still want cooldown to increase on the binary bomb and everything, but let's upgrade the binary bomb. Oopsie. I ran right into that attack. That's alright though. Still got plenty of health. So, I don't believe I've actually tried the boss in this zone yet. I might be misremembering, but let's see what they look like. Oh yeah, that's right. I've never seen this cactus. Whoa, you made it here without getting prickled? That's no small feat. I'm Dusty, proud plant part-time program, and your friendly neighborhood succulent. I used to help folks grow virtual gardens, but then I sorta rooted myself here. But hey, let's shake off the soil and have ourselves a friendly little scuffle. Just promise you'll be gentle. I bruise easy for a cactus. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Alright. A little spicy. But he does stay in place for quite a long time sometimes. Should be useful for aiming the binary bomb. I am not used to these attacks though, so this is a little tricky. Nice of them to spawn right on top of the minesweeper though. Yeah, this was actually easier than the mole in my opinion, at least when it comes to doing damage to them. And probably easier to avoid attacks as well. Although I'm not sure about that attack. Alright. Yeah, probably gonna win this one. That's nice. Yeah. Ooh, you really bloomed out there, didn't you? Well, it's time for me to plant myself somewhere more helpful. Whoa, hey, I forgot how funny it feels to reinstall. Like a breeze through my spines. Come visit me in Plant Pal 2000 anytime you need a green thumb. I guess I unlocked something for the desktop. Yeah, defeated Dusty. Very nice. We've got increases weapon-based damage by 13% and deals 37% more damage to enemies above 46% HP. Let's put that in the binary bomb. Very nice. And now we'll move on to the next floor. I am curious what that Plant Pal 2000 thing is. Hopefully it's something useful. Only one way to find out though. I'll take a quick look after this run, if I don't forget, of course. Let's go for the hourglass. Reduce the cooldowns by 8%. That's what I was looking for. It would be nice to have a Dr. Watson as well for quicker healing, especially as this gets trickier. A little too low for those. Ow. That was a little slow on my reaction time with that attack. alright though. Just keep on keeping on. The binary bomb we will upgrade. And there's a kill screen. Very nice. It's getting a little hectic in here. An additional shield. So this is the failsafe I unlocked. Probably not especially useful. Well, actually, I feel like when you upgrade it, if it has a shorter recharge, that might be very useful. So maybe that. So I guess I'll have a shield around me. I don't know if it's on right now or if it takes 15 seconds to charge the first one. We got increased projectile speed and 5% more XP. Well, I guess we'll try it on the crumbler. I guess maybe that means it clicks faster. Hopefully that's what it means. Maybe it does nothing with the crumbler. It definitely would do nothing with the minesweeper if that's the case. That's not a projectile at all. Oh yeah, so the lock around me is the shield, looks like. I like that lock icon. Very nostalgic. Everything about this game is very nostalgic. Well, not everything, but a lot of it. I don't recall seeing these enemies on old Windows versions, but a lot of the other visuals are very old school Windows. Oh boy. It's a little trickier to hit these guys than I was thinking. We'll upgrade binary bomb again. I have yet to find the one that synergizes with that though. The power, I forget what it was called, the power something. The additional damage. That's what I need. I want the additional damage and maybe a Dr. Watson if I can find him. I could be re-rolling. I haven't been doing that. Alright. So, moving on. Let's do another battle here. Got some real fast guys in here. I'm just focused on staying alive right now. Can't really line up the binary bomb well here. Alright, let's get the Dr. Watson for more healing. That might become very important very quickly. Oh boy. Gotta survive. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. My cursor swimming through space. Picking up money. And diamonds. Or whatever those things are called. Let's get the kill screen. Oh yeah. Okay. Let us upgrade the scheduler for longer runs in each battle. Though I might come to regret that. Not that I can really get healed when I'm not fighting though, so I'm not sure that matters much in terms of survivability, other than having to be locked in for longer periods of time. I can fight the boss again if I want. I wonder if they're harder the second time. Or they have more health or something. Can't really tell. But I do know its moves a little better, which makes it a little more manageable. I definitely definitely follows a certain pattern. Well, not really, but I do know its attacks better now. Get away from me. Doing pretty good. This attack is easier to dodge than it looks. Almost got him. There we go. More money. And this increases weapon crit chance by 3% and deals 13% more damage to enemies above 49 HP. 49% that is. I'll give it to Minesweeper. Okay, moving on to the next battle. Almost didn't make it there with the binary bomb. That one I messed up the angle on. I do not have quite as many weapons as usual. I believe the max is 5, I only have 3 right now, but I'll keep upgrading the binary bomb here. Maybe you'll get to see the more powerful version if I find the power upgrade and upgrade that. But no guarantees on any of that, because I could die pretty quickly if I'm not careful. Especially as this gets trickier and the enemies deal more damage. It's going pretty okay for now though. Alright. There's something very satisfying about this game when you're just in the groove. How about we go for the flower box? It bounces around the screen and you can click it to make it change direction. This is like one of the old Windows screensavers, you'll see. Does that ring a bell? Do you have nostalgia for this thing that's floating around? If you don't, you are not as old as me. Or you just weren't using computers at that age. There's a lot of imagery in this game that I wonder if they got permission from Microsoft to use, or if it's copyrighted. Because it is definitely sometimes what seems like the exact imagery. Would be interesting. I wonder if the game is indeed infringing copyright. It might get in trouble at some point. Or if Microsoft just doesn't care. Who knows? Maybe I'm mistaken and all this is original stuff. Here's the power supply. Worst case scenario, this video gets taken down by Microsoft. Though I think that's highly unlikely, even if the game does get in trouble somehow. Look at all these snakes. Snaky, snaky, slithery snakes. I'm in the zone. I do like the flow state you can get into in this game. So why not go for the recycle bin for my file shotgun. That'll be my 5th and final weapon. And I now have all the weapons I'll have for this run, and all the upgrades. Though maybe I will transform Binary Bomb into something cool. We'll see. All things considered, this run's going pretty good so far. Better than I was expecting. This is probably going to be a pretty long video. Let's upgrade the power supply to get closer to that synergy evolution, or whatever you want to call it. And here's a game of chance. 24% chance. If I win, I increase the area, basically the size of my projectiles, by 20%. Or if I lose, I'm 15% less lucky. I'm going to go for it. Alright, well, 15% less lucky. Not a huge deal. Let's get the maybe last battle in this run. Or this, I was trying to say room, but I meant to say zone. But I think it came out as run. Alright. Just keep swimming. Just keep shooting. That's all I gotta do. And don't get hit, of course. At least not too much. I got Dr. Watson healing me. Slowly, but surely. Oh yeah, look at all that. We will upgrade power supply again. I think I gotta get the power supply to level 6 before the evolution will take place. As long as binary bomb is also fully upgraded. But we'll see. I don't remember exactly. Uh-oh, I'm getting hit. The game is being generous and not giving me too many fast enemies right now. I will upgrade the flower box. Because why not? They're giving me all the easy enemies. Too easy. Alright, that's it for this floor. And a flower box upgrade. Time for depth 3. Might be a little spicier down here. Already looks like it. But that's more enemies for me to get more experience and money from. Gotta look at the bright side. Lots of things in life are difficult, but they are also sometimes the most worthwhile. Alright, we will add an additional shield. I got 2 locks spinning around me now. Very nice. They're both gone because I'm getting hit. Oh boy. Gotta be careful. These warlocks, or whoever they are, shooting projectiles, little magic red orbs. A little spicy. Flower box upgrade. I should probably be using rerolls to get that power upgrade for the evolution. I keep forgetting I can reroll with money. So I'll do that if I have to. Because why not? Alright, binary bomb to level 8. Uh-oh. Very nice. Moving on to the left. They're already shooting at me. Get out of here. Your experience points and money are mine. Alright, see, we can reroll. And now a power supply upgrade. That's what I'm looking for. And I think we just need one more, and we'll get that evolution I was talking about. Assuming I don't die first. Unlikely, but possible. But let's think positively, shall we? I'm gonna do it. And it's gonna be easy. Easy and fun. Like so. Each reroll becomes more expensive, but that's alright because we found it right here. Corrupt. Binary bomb and power supply, max level. Corruption successful. Binary bomb renamed to binary with 2 eyes. Plenty of damage, but slower. Click anywhere to continue. Here we go. Look at all that. Way more 1s and 0s. And they are colorful. And they linger around longer. Better for doing damage to big groups. Very nice. That's what I'd like to see. So how about we upgrade the crumbler? We'll see the chance game up here. 27% chance. If I win, increase amount by 1, which means an additional projectile for each weapon. And if I lose 50% of my current HP. Well, I can get the HP back if I'm careful, so it was worth the risk. An additional projectile. Very nice. Should be pretty useful. Blammo. I said blammo a little early, but you get the idea. Oh yeah. Look at all that damage. You'll love to see it. So satisfying. Just gotta stay alive. We will upgrade Minesweeper. I'm in the zone. As the BGs or whoever it was once said, staying alive. Staying alive. Reduce weapon cooldowns. Let's do that. It's getting chaotic in here. It's very fun to weave in between the enemies. And base damage. Let's go for Minesweeper. So far, this is the only evolution I've seen. I wonder what other evolutions there are. Probably some pretty cool ones. I will upgrade Failsafe for an additional shield. We've got a random upgrade. Why not? Ooh, binary bomb is already max level, so I can't have it. Oh well, waste of money. That's alright. This video is going on longer than I expected. I normally don't do this well. Somehow I thought I would be doing worse, because it's an ASMR video where I'm trying to be nice and relaxing instead of fully focused on the game. But ironically, things are going better than usual. Interesting how that happens. It's like the opposite of performance anxiety for some reason. What was that? Oh, it's a new type of enemy. I've never seen this guy before, but I don't like it. It's real ominous. It makes it harder to move around. We will reduce cooldowns some more. Oh boy. So this is making it a lot trickier because I can't touch the lasers when I'm trying to move all over the place. And they seem to do a lot of damage in combination with everything else. Probably gonna die now. I was talking about this being too easy, going too well, I jinxed it. Even though jinxing is definitely not real. But hey, pretty good run. And before I go, let's find out what Plant Pal 2000 is. I also never showed you Burial Bay. So this, you can bury an item and make it more likely to appear in your run. Anyway, Plant Pal 2000. Welcome to Plant Pal 2000 in Shambute. Sunny interface, real cozy stuff. Here's how it works. I'll show you a few plants ready to harvest. Each one's tied to a different item you've found. For a bit of gold, you can harvest a plant to boost that item's max level permanently. Oh, so that's why I was getting offered level 9 in Binary Bomb, but I couldn't take it. I can increase the maximum level of items. Very nice. So I don't have enough money to do any of these, but it's good to know this is here for the future. But anyway, that'll be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun to make, and I hope you had fun watching it. And yeah, I'll see you next time.